Come on.
Get it.
Live from your deeply stained and crumbled copy of Responsible Investor.
Oh, why'd you crumble it?
It's a Business Bench Friday show here at May 29 Studios featuring analyst Matt Moscardi. Is Responsible Investor a magazine? Is it a newspaper?
It used to be a magazine.
Good, let's just say it is. Yeah. On today's weekly wrap-up, BP board ousts a bully who makes his own coffee.
Oh.
80,000 rideshare drivers in Massachusetts changed their name to Jimmy Hoffa. And woke-washing tech bros. Wow. Feel sad for you. Your section is always a downer.
Well, why do I get assigned the downer section?
Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics and FreeFlowAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connection, and performance for free.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, you could change your section. You could do sometimes you do the most sugariest, but that's still kind of the same, isn't it?
Let me ask you, if I changed my section, would there be just public joy from our listeners for...
I got a text from a friend who was listening to our show this week, and all he said was, Moscardi's on a rant. And I was like, well, that's what show is that?
That defines the shows, doesn't it? I got to really stop. I don't know how to stop it.
No, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how to stop it.
I don't know. Sometimes I wander around, and I'm like, how come more people aren't ranting?
I mean, I feel like if everyone knew what was happening, everyone would be equally as agitated. So I'm just trying to channel that. That's all.
Well, actually, I channeled that this week in the story of the week. I actually tried to take a mellower approach.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get to it. Let's do that.
Let's
do the story of the week. Let's go.
I tried. Let's start with some good old-fashioned corporate governance. BP ousts chair
Beyond Petroleum.
Albert Manifold over serious governance oversight concerns. Now, BP they're always at it. They're always getting rid of somebody, right? This is the fourth abrupt top-tier departure in 3 years. So Chair Helga Lund was kicked out. CEOs Bernard Looney and Murray Oceancloth gone. This is a wonderful mess over at BP. A delightful mess. Ian Taylor is stepping up to be interim chair, so have fun with that. And let's not forget that the current CEO is Meg O'Neill, the first external hire ever at BP, and the first woman to lead a oil giant. So I don't know what's coming for her. Who knows? But here's the background. The board said that it was surprised and disappointed to learn of governance oversight and conduct issues it deems unacceptable and has taken decisive action. And then later we learned that through internal leaks in a whistleblower report that there was a pattern of aggressive, verbally abusive and bullying behavior toward multiple colleagues, alongside accusations that Albert was withholding info from the board and leaking privileged data. Now, this basically sounds like why they fired Sam Altman, but let's not get into Sam Altman.
No, that's not why they fired Sam Altman.
Go ahead.
They fired Sam Altman because he's a big fat liar. Just
you went right into
big
it.
Fat liar.
So here, I'm going to give you I love the comeback of Albert Manifold. This is a wonderful comeback. First, I love when people say this as an excuse. At no point, this is a quote, all quotes, at no point in my tenure as chairman of BP has anyone raised with me any issue about my conduct or my relationship with my colleagues. So does that mean he didn't do it?
No one looked at me and said, you're an asshole and I hate you and stop bullying me. No one did that.
But then he conceded he may have, quote, pushed hard and challenged people directly, end quote. So if you're admitting that, that's it, right? You basically are a jerk. And then let me go on to say what he also said, and this is like the defense of a murderer, right? Of a first-time murderer. Albert said, such accusations had not been previously made about his behavior during his 40-year career. So, right?
It's like he wasn't caught as a murderer for 40 years?
Right, so I mean, it's not how he couldn't, so I mean, that's the proof that he couldn't have done it, right?
Yeah, right.
And then he went into this, speaking of a Mascardi rant, and then he went into this weird tangential rant. Clearly, I don't know if he's trying to like throw BP executives and board members under the bus for being too posh and suggesting that that's why they got rid of him. But he said that he called out unnecessary or excessive expenditure, but that everyone else didn't share his priorities. So he was walking around telling them like, "Hey, you're
spending too much money,
too much." So he said, again, this is all stuff that he released in a comeback in a memo. He said Albert, turned down many of the benefits traditionally enjoyed by top executives, which he called a culture of entitlement, including chauffeur-driven cars, being flown by private jet, or taking advantage of corporate hospitality. Quote, I love this. "I had no interest in having a dedicated chauffeur-driven limousine at my beck and call on the occasions that I was in London. I, like most people, walked,
he's a
took
populist.
taxis, trains, etc. I had no interest in taking private aviation, nor in availing myself of corporate tickets for sports events. I made my own coffee.
Got it.
Bought my lunch in the local cafe." I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there's more than one local cafe in London. "I sat in a small office eschewing the grand corner office privilege of previous chairman." I love this guy. I love it. What a great comeback.
Isn't there two possible realities here?
Go ahead.
One possible reality is that everybody on the BP board has sucked for a long time. I mean, we can just concede that, right?
True, but they keep the turnover is high. Like,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The board is turning over because they suck.
Constantly.
Executives are turning over. Everybody's turning over there, right? Like, so I don't know what long culture of BP he thinks exists because nobody's been there for that long. They've been there for
Right.
like 7 minutes. But they could all be woke snowflakes, right? Like,
Maybe.
they could just be, I feel bullied and it's all about feelings and whatever. Or what does it take for a board to throw out its chair that has been there for 1 year? That is a really extreme move.
And remember, he got 18% no vote at the last annual election, and everyone called that a massive rebuke against Manifold. Massive.
So either it's a couple of woke snowflakes on the board of BP, or
Investors
literally
put
no
their
one likes
bony
this guy.
elbow, right?
No one likes this guy, and it's so extreme they actually had to fire him. Which one do we think it is?
I think investors wanted to get rid of him, and I think they just found.
I think they made up a pretense they wanted him gone.
I've always been
that's right.
convinced that, like when we used to work at the mothership, that they weren't necessarily looking at your day-to-day, actions and like where you were surfing and all that, but they were keeping a log just in case they needed to fire you. And then they'd just be like, "Yeah, we don't like how often you go to Macy's.com or whatever." So I think that's the same thing with Albert. They were just taking notes and being like, "This jerk makes his own coffee and he's always yelling at a chair." And I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know.
Hopefully the chair's
Do
empty.
Do I believe that the culture at BP thought he was too much of a bully? I don't believe there aren't hundreds of executive bullies at that place. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
I think investors wanted him out because they want everyone out, because no one's ever comfortable at this place. In fact, I looked at the board trying to decide who to blame, because there's been 4 people who've left in 3 years, but there's only 3 directors who've been there for longer than 3 years. And one of them is the senior independent director, Dame Amanda Blanc. But again, like, this board is so new, it's just hard to put your finger anywhere. It's a fascinating situation. I love his comeback. I love it.
I mean, I make my own coffee. That means I'm not a jerk too.
Yeah, I make it constantly, and I'm pretty sure
just
I am a jerk.
5 a day. Yeah, I'm definitely not a jerk.
All right, that's the first story. Second story gets a little less fun, but I had to include it. I had to. Dell wins a $10 billion Pentagon software deal after donating to Trump accounts. This story sucks. So the last time I looked at the stock, Michael Dell alone has added $36 billion to his pocket because
What
the
a
stock,
trade.
the stock is shooting up. Let's not forget that in this big, like, bromancy, dumb press release of a We're So Great tour, remember he pledged $6 billion to Trump accounts.
Yeah.
I mean, again, pledged.
So-
let's not forget that Bezos's Earth Fund pledged a bunch of money, and they keep reporting that money has never actually come.
Well,
So,
the $6 billion, let's say it goes.
let's say he actually spends
Here's the
it.
amazing thing about it. First of all, it's a donation, which means
Probably a
it's
tax
it's
write-off,
a tax
right?
write-off, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and then he, as a result, because everything's a quid pro quo with the administration, makes personally $36 billion. He made $30 billion
Yeah, maybe more. I haven't looked at the price. Yeah.
by effectively donating $6 billion and writing it off from the taxes.
And that's what the friendship was all about. And that's what that's what the Trump account thing was all about. We all knew it. I mean,
just in taxes saved, let's say he cashed out the upside, which he won't do, but let's say he cashed it out, because all these people do is they borrow against their equity,
Right.
and they don't have to pay taxes at all. But let's just say, for the fun, he cashed out everything, and he made the extra $36 billion. He takes that down by $6 billion. He's saving, if he's charged 20% in cap gains, which he's not. He's saving billions of dollars already. Everything's a win. It's all a win.
sucks. And this is what really infuriates me. I think this is one of the reasons why I keep doing this show. Is I'm trying.
As we try to figure out why we do this show.
Yeah, why? Because it's like we're trying to chip away at the protected class. We're trying to warn people of this protected class. But Michael Dell, it wasn't that long ago that the company got caught. They call it the Intel cookie jar scandal. So Dell was telling investors that its high profits were due to how great it was, basically. But really, secretly, it was getting money from Intel so that they would not sell to AMD. They were basically, Intel was trying to crush AMD, so they were giving secret payouts to Dell, saying don't work with them. The SEC found out back when the SEC used to do something. Dell had to pay $100 million. And I'm only raising this because only in this world do you pull shit like that, and not only do you survive, but you thrive. Like there's just nothing you can do to get that should be a disqualifying event. I don't know. You're lying about profits. But there's just, you can't chip away at these people's power. There's nothing. And not to mention our next story, which proves that I don't know if anything can be done anymore. But you have anything else to say about Dell? I'm gonna
No, I don't care about Dell. I hate them.
And I don't know how much you want to
I'm
spend
not
on this
buying a
next
Dell
story.
computer anymore.
You did a good job covering this on our Tuesday show, and I know Ann Lipton covered it on her show, Shareholder Primacy. So I didn't provide many more details here. If you want to talk about it, go ahead. But I am including as a story of the week, SpaceX's unconventional corporate arrangements favor Elon Musk, of course. But I will say that there's a pension fund in Denmark, which is proving something very easy: is that you don't have to be involved with Elon Musk. The headline today is that they're rejecting the IPO over valuation and governance concerns. You don't have to invest in this jerk.
Well, you do.
Why?
Actually, because all of the index providers and the exchanges are changing the rules such that you can fast track adding SpaceX to the index.
Yeah. But you can fight against that. You can fight against anything.
You could, but so here's the problem. In this country in particular, but everywhere, every one of these investors is basically a massive index investor. They're so large that they own the entire markets of most of the world, right? Like they own everything. And if they make a choice to invest in an index that excludes, say, SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic over valuation concerns and or governance concerns, which we don't have to go through it's a fucking nightmare, right? Like we don't need to. If you only buy it if you are just gambling on the cult of Musk. That's it. It is purely a gamble. In fact, they don't even make rockets that make money. They make satellites that give you internet, which Viasat did in 1996. So they don't do anything new. Not in the way they make money. You are simply betting on Musk. You're simply saying, God, I love that guy. I want to just give him my money.
When
I don't care if he
when
loses
is enough enough? I mean, when is our investor culture going to like start making decisions based on where they want the world to go?
Well, yeah, I get the retail culture doing that. I don't get investors doing that at all. I don't understand it even a little bit. But let's say like the governance concerns alone are a problem for you and you have no rights. It's a private company. They're taking your money. You literally have no rights. There's not a single right that you have at this company. You can't even elect the board, right? Like,
I mean, but what about the moral issues of creating like a empire, an emperor? What are we doing? We're like crowning the king of the universe here.
But the investors' hands are partially tied because they own so much of the market that if they choose to exclude SpaceX, you are making an active choice that you can get sued for.
Why can a Danish pension fund?
Because they're in Denmark and it's a smaller pension fund. If CalPERS decided we cannot participate in the SpaceX IPO, we will not invest in an index that has it on it.
Yeah,
I agree with you that is
is enough.
The right thing, and it's what investors should be doing.
This should be the tipping point of like going back to the drawing board and reassessing how we're treating capital and how we're dealing with the future. Something has got to change. I mean, something, because it was never really about this. We never had trillionaires. Really?
Yeah, no, it was always about protecting the capital class. Like when you replaced slavery with capitalism, right? Like, which wasn't a one-to-one replacement. And it's like capitalism existed long before, slavery in different forms, whatever. But the point is, when you effectively took the ownership class and you've constantly said you can no longer be an ownership class of a thing, whether it's an enslaved population or landowners or vote owners, right? Like in the federal democracies, like whatever version we know of, they just go and own something else. And now we're at peak capitalist ownership in which not a single investor or retail investor, regulator, or exchange cares that it's dictatorships. They are pure private companies taking your capital that you're just gambling. It's a pure dictatorship. There's no valuation. There's no nothing. It's a protected class.
From the model of like what a public corporation is meant to be, we're so far away from that. I mean, we thought Snap was egregious, which it was, by the way.
It was 90.
No voting shares.
No vote shares. Yeah.
But I'm saying, this is. I
want to like SpaceX. Right, it's like
let's move on.
If you buy it, buy some crypto next to it and make a total fucking gamble out of your entire life savings.
Get a cheeseburger.
You don't care.
Give the change to a homeless person. Just
you either are uneducated or you don't care because there's plenty of resources out there to tell you this is a horrible idea and people do it anyway.
The next story, I had to include this one because this is maybe the best apology of the year so far. Standard Chartered CEO apologizes. Standard Chartered CEO Bill Winters triggered a massive PR firestorm by describing the bank's plan to replace back office staff with automation as replacing, quote, lower value human capital, end quote, with financial investment. So they're cutting 8,000 people. He called them lower value human capital. Then he was like sort of forced to apologize. And then, of course, Jamie Dimon stepped up to say he called the statement an inartful slip of the tongue from a friend.
Yeah.
So this is just like a great, if you want to understand the moment, just look at this apology and look at this quote and look at how Jamie supported him. I feel like this is a good way of encapsulating the moment.
Why can't Albert Manifold say that he pushed and challenged people directly and that was just an inartful slip of the management, right? Like, why can't everything just be that way?
There was a poll out of Mercer, I believe, that suggested that 99% of CEOs are planning on cutting employees due to AI. 99%?
Yeah, but there was another article that said that all the tech bros are saying the fears of AI taking your job are completely overblown.
Oh, they're overboard.
They're way overboard.
99%? Even that surprised me. All right, that's the fourth. And finally, I'm ending on a really horribly nerdy governance one. Just because I want to highlight the trend, and we love Tyson Foods here because they put one of the Nepo grandbabies on the board despite being in and out of jail and losing his job with the company, but he's somehow on the board. That's John R. Tyson, maybe John H. Tyson. I don't know which. John
I think it's
Tyson
R.
It is.
I think we're on R. I don't know. Like I think they just do it alphabetically, right? Like eventually they get to Z Tyson.
But here's the trend: another lead independent director jumping into the CEO seat. Jeffrey Schoenberger is becoming CEO.
Oh.
I mean, this is where we're at. Speaking of like failed governance structures, right? I mean, yeah, they're proving the point for us over and over and over. This, so he's replacing Donnie King. And yeah, I think now the succession plan is really simple. Because they don't really know where to go, so they just go to their board because we know the boards really aren't independent.
I had to look it up quick. He'd been there. I was worried that he hadn't been there for at least 10 years.
No,
but
he's been there exactly for 10 years.
Oh,
yeah.
whew.
Because I think that's the magic number of basically when you're an executive. That's why they were
when
able.
They make you lead independent.
That's why they turned to Jeff because they're like Jeff. I mean, no one else knows this company more than you. So why don't you be CEO? The funny thing about this too, I mean, I don't know if funny is the right word, is that speaking of like protected class, is that this guy is actually getting
Tell me he gets a golden hello.
He's getting a golden hello worth I don't know, it's like $3 or $4 million in equity, despite the fact that he hasn't had he said he most recently served as global sales officer for the Procter & Gamble company in 2019.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, you don't need to pay this guy to take this job. He hasn't been in the game for 7 years. Why do we need to throw money at him?
Look, there's a lot of competition for Jeffrey Schlumberger's services.
Evidently not. But I do like the fact that a guy named Burgers is running a chicken company. But anyway, I know you're not going to vote for that one. Those are my 5 stories of the week.
No, it's just going to be BPS.
Yes,
that's what it is. Let's move it on.
Again, for like the entertainment value alone, it's a fabulous story. So I thank everyone. And Al making his own coffee is the greatest.
Can you do me a favor and read the full like most people?
I don't even know what that means, like most people. But
I think he's just being a populist or like an average dude.
I, like most people, walked, took taxis, trains, etc. I had no interest in taking private aviation nor in availing. Well, he doesn't talk like normal people, I will say, like most people.
Availing myself
of corporate tickets for sports events. I made my own coffee.
Yes.
Bought my lunch in the local cafe. I sat in a small office eschewing the grand corner office privilege of previous chairman. So that's the line, right? So the line between like a normal person and an executive is making your own coffee. We figured it out.
He bought his own lunch. You focused on local cafe. I'm focusing on buying. He bought his own lunch.
All the people in line
to Pret a Manger and got a $7 overpriced shitty sandwich himself.
$7. Where do you live? Yeah. So the people waiting in line at Starbucks, are they board members and executives? Because they're not making their own coffee.
No, they're just not part of the culture of entitlement.
He's pretty old. Do you think he's putting like Folgers instant crystal into a BP mug and he's pouring like tap water into it and that's his coffee?
At some point, when you talk like this or about this, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're already a multi-millionaire.
I love this guy.
Like you are, the culture of entitlement is it's almost like the reverse. When you go out and you're like, I, like most people, take taxis and do not avail myself to sporting events. When you do that, that's a form of entitlement because you have multi-millions of dollars. Like, great, I'm proud of you. Why are you talking about it at all? Like when some jamook is in line at Dunkin' to get a coffee, do you say, you don't make your own coffee, sir? You are part of the culture of entitlement. Like, what is this? What a dope.
estimated net worth looks to be roughly like $150 million. So yeah, I don't really get I don't really get the populist thing here. But yeah, I'm wondering. Maybe this is an Irish thing. He's Irish. Maybe this is Irish hate. Look, we all know
he digs his own peat.
The English have not been kind to the Irish over the years. So maybe that's what this is.
You're saying that's what this is.
All
right, let's go on to good list.
See, I kept it kind of light, right? Didn't I?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Mine's not going to be good, but this wasn't bad.
And in fact,
you have a lot of good lists.
In aims of keeping it light this week, I really wanted to try to get off the
down. Yeah,
the ranting. I picked 4 stories that I thought were good, and actually, you picked a couple too. We have 6.
I got 2. Yeah.
You go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? All right. Well, mine are short. I just like these headlines. The world's largest data center was supposed to run on 100% natural gas. Utah's Republican governor says never.
A Republican governor?
The Republican governor of Utah said it must run on a mix of natural gas, solar, geothermal, and nuclear.
You'd think in Utah, there's a lot of solar and geothermal going on, right?
There should be. Like, are we... Like, this is the same guy that's like fighting against climate change. Is saying you must use the tools.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Like he's one of the
Republicans
Spencer
in Utah.
Cox.
Republicans in Utah are a little different. Like they're not right, aren't they? A little different because a lot of them are Mormons.
He said in March 20th of 2025 that he criticized the quote radical agenda of the extreme environmental movement.
Never mind.
After Utah dismissed. You know how like student movement to bring lawsuits against like states who are not dealing with climate change? A children's group brought a lawsuit against Utah for promoting fossil fuels. This is the same governor who heralded that, fought against that, and is now saying, no, you can't build a data center unless you use solar and geothermal. What are we doing? You realized you woke up and said, "Oh, fucking energy is energy." I love this headline. I love it.
I've made this point for years.
It's confusing.
Instead of making this a political issue, why don't we just, all these big oil companies, all these dumb Republicans, just make money off of geothermal and solar and shut your mouth.
Just make all the money. You're good at that. Just do that.
All right, what else?
My other one is labor union participation is on the rise, even as U.S. companies spend $1.7 billion annually to halt union formation.
I mean, there's all these articles about people fighting back against data centers, people booing AI. Labor unions might be the only path forward for people.
This is the 1-to-1 correlation. When AI is coming, you need to bond with other people and fight the 7 tech lords who are ramming it down your fucking throat.
Because the Electoral College doesn't seem to be representing people.
No, they're just
Congress is being gerrymandered. Voting rights has been destroyed for black people. I mean, this might be it. All right,
I love it.
I have 4. Rideshare drivers in Massachusetts formerly unionized.
Yeah, I like that too.
80,000 drivers. Maine Senate. This is mostly for people. Mostly for, I don't know. He is my guy, but he's not perfect. But who is?
Yeah, sure.
I like that he's anti-oligarchy. That's the message I like. Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner stands by ad accusing Red Sox private equity owners of ruining the team. Now, I only picked this one because I just finally someone said it because the private equity owners have basically destroyed my love of all team sports. I love watching team sports. I used to. I'm pretty much out on the whole thing, and he's right. Private equity owners, I'm sure they've ruined more than just sports, but that's the one that gets me the most. In fact, even when I turn on a game like a playoff game, even the fans that you see on TV, they're not fans of the team. They're just a bunch of like stiff, rich white people. I don't know. All right. Anyway, I'm going to move
on. Does anybody watch baseball anymore anyway?
I don't know.
Is that still a thing?
Supreme Court. This is a good one. This is a big one. The actual Supreme Court lets Vermont Meta lawsuit proceed, opening door to 50-state legal wave. This is a lawsuit alleging that Facebook and Instagram harmed young users, right? Meta's argument here is just so horribly Zuck and so horribly tech bro, so horribly like dropout loser idiot. Meta had argued that, ready for this one? Meta had argued that it can't be sued in Vermont court, because neither the company nor the app design has specific ties to the state.
So
it doesn't matter. Meta thought it doesn't matter that your teenagers and kids are using the app because we didn't design it in Vermont. We didn't do it in Burlington. I hope this is the beginning of the end. I really do. I really do.
Did they write in there? I've never even been to Vermont.
Never been to Vermont. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's a reckoning coming. But I applaud the Supreme Court. I don't know what's going to happen, but I applaud them for letting this go through. And finally, New Hampshire data center developer withdraws plans hours before opponents were to pack town meeting. So, data centers seem to be the one thing that is getting people riled up, showing up. They don't want but they're still being built though, right? In like a lot of states.
Yeah. Well, they're being built without
red
actually.
States?
Yeah, but they're not actually, they're just not bothering to really like inform the people about what they're building, how they're building it, why they're building it.
Hey, this is why we call it the alternative democracy, right? Because the model of corporate governance is based off the model of like civic participation, and it's no surprise that in the places like New England, where civic participation is still important and still high, and governance still matters, that this is where they're fighting back. I mean, the three of the stories I chose, Actually, this is a pure coincidence. The 4 stories I chose for Good Lias are all New England states: Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
I'm sorry, that doesn't sound like a coincidence. That sounds like
I didn't like cherry pick these because I live in New England. It's just that it's still people who care about governance is the point. All right. I know you want me to shut up, so let's move on.
Do we have a winner?
The winner, I think, is gig workers unionizing.
Oh, really?
What's your winner?
My
Vermont
winner is
suing Meta?
Yeah, I guess it's labor unions in general. Let's say labor unions win. All right, let's do
Meta.
some horrible assholes. One is kind of funny. I'm gonna end on the funny one.
Are we going quickly?
Yeah, we're moving on. We're moving right along.
Come on,
all right,
go ahead.
First of all, first asshole is index funds.
Assholiest.
Assholiest.
Good.
Index funds.
We were talking about that earlier.
They just need to quit pretending. Here was the result. Exxon wins shareholder backing for legal move to Texas.
Yeah, that's a joke.
So what Exxon did is they've been in New Jersey for like 120 years and made more money than any fucking company on earth.
Exxon is a lot like Trump in the sense that this this proxy battle that it quote unquote lost to, what was it? Engine
number one.
Number one has pissed off Exxon so much, right? I mean, they're constantly angered by this. They can't stop.
I think that's right. I think you actually said it emasculated them once.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is literally what's driving capital markets at this point.
All right. Yeah,
so,
you might be right.
But the background on that is in 2019, I believe it was, the Exxon had an activist, engine number one, won board seats, and the reason why they won these board seats is mostly because Exxon's board wouldn't talk to anybody. They thought they were better than everybody else, and so the activists won. The following year, Exxon expanded the board to dilute the activist placed directors.
There's good corporate governance.
Last year, Exxon instilled a retail vote capture program where they just said, 40% of our investors are basically retail holders. We're going to offer them the ability to auto vote with management because they don't vote at all.
Basically gerrymandering of your investor, right?
It's effectively gerrymandering your investor
Not to mention
classes.
they sued their voters.
That's right. 2 years ago, they sued their own investors because they didn't like a shareholder proposal. The shareholder proposal got excluded and withdrawn, but they continued a lawsuit against them because they were so annoyed that a shareholder would have any desire for information from the company.
It's like someone stole their Playboy magazine. They're just angry.
And this year, on their proxy was moved to redomesticate in Texas. After 120 years of being based in New Jersey, they wanted to move to Texas, where the laws limit everything an investor could do. The thing they did say was, we promise, pinky swear, that we won't use the Texas rules that give us more rights. That's what they pinky swore. Of course, as soon as they're in Texas, they absolutely will use all the things in Texas that limit shareholder rights. The Exxon proposal got 71.3% support from investors. 71.3.
Can I add something to this that we didn't cover, maybe because we missed a show or missed a proxy countdown? I'm going to add it right here. Exxon did something this year in its proxy statement. I have been doing this way too long. It's sad how long I've been looking. I mean, I can't tell you how many proxy statements I've looked at. More than
thousands.
More than 3.
Yeah.
They did something I have never seen in my life. Talk about these petty babies. So in the table of contents, most proxies have a table of contents linking,
to the pages, and
the compensation table and the shareholder proposals, right in the table of contents. And then, of course, after you go and look at the shareholder proposal, it says item 5. Independent chair, that's referring to the first proposal, comma, a proposal overwhelmingly defeated on 16 separate occasions since 2000. They are politicking and giving their opinions
in the table
of contents. I have never seen this before. Never.
They are the biggest bunch of man babies outside of the tech bros.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. Here's why I picked index funds. They are allowed now to redomesticate in Texas, where they will have unfettered rights to destroy shareholder rights going forward. We know that 40% of the shares are retail. We know, because they've disclosed this, that roughly 28% have voted in the past. So we know, if we're guessing roughly, we know that roughly 13% of the vote, 10 to 13% of the vote, Exxon basically stole from retail investors. They basically went to their retail investors and said, just vote with management every time. And retail investors are like, I don't know, sure. And they just gave it up. So of the 71.3% support, maybe 10% of it is, retail investor vote capture. That leaves 61% that are investors. But can you guess who 22% of the investors are?
I mean, the big 3?
BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
Right.
Which means there is no way that this passed without 2 of the 3, if not all 3, voting with it. If we assume all 3 voted with it, because that's all they fucking do, then that means the investors that matter, not the ones that they stole and not the big 3 who have no opinion about anything because they're pointless, they voted only 35% in favor. Mm-hmm. This would not have passed.
Not to mention that it kind of... Didn't both ISS and Glass Lewis recommend against this?
Recommended against it.
So there goes the idea there of that cabal controlling shareholders, right? I mean, didn't stop it here.
Throw in the fact that there was a shareholder proposal this year to add voting options to the retail vote. So right now, the retail vote capture program is vote with management. The shareholder proposal was you need to give retailers the ability to vote with management or vote against management,
right,
or vote some other options. You've given them one option. And that got a 23.5% support.
That's pretty high, actually.
Which is pretty high. And when you back out of the numbers, when you actually do the math on the way the vote came in, actually the real number, excluding BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street and the retail vote capture, is 36% voted for it, meaning the same 36% that probably voted against redomestication voted for having more options in the retail vote plan, meaning the investors that matter,
right,
who weren't gerrymandered, fucking hate all of this. But your index funds, when you go and you open your 401k and you look at your index funds, if you're at Vanguard, if you've got a BlackRock fund of any kind, they're the ones who are picking the ability of companies to get rid of all your rights as an investor. Those are your rights. They're supposed to represent you. And what they're doing instead is they represent entirely the companies, the boards, the CEOs, the management teams. They challenge nothing. They say yes to anything. They do not represent your rights at all. And they have sold your vote.
Is this on purpose, or they just don't pay attention, or they just do what management tells them to do, or like what's the? Do you think they actually like look into this in detail?
Stewardship. So, and I'm going to cover this in the Proxy Countdown later today. But stewardship, it is through decades of academic research. Your board composition, stewardship action, shareholder engagement, all of those things are actually shown time and time and time again to matter, to be linked to outcomes like financial returns and company performance and all sorts of other positive outcomes over and over and over again. But if you are BlackRock, stewardship is a cost. You do not look at stewardship and say, that makes me money. You have to pay analysts. You have to pay for data. You got to pay for this. The voting process takes time. You got to do all this analytics and analysis. It is way easier for you to say, you know what? We're not getting anything directly for this right now. The only way we get something is alpha or growing our assets. We need to get more money in, or we need the assets we bought to make more money. And frankly,
yeah,
we don't have the time to wait for stewardship to work. So we're going to say this is just a cost center and vote with management every time and limit our costs on stewardship. That's what they do. That's all they do.
What was the point of their education in the first place?
Which education? Did they get educations?
I don't. Yeah. Or what? How do they explain that when it's all said and done, and they had to go to the pearly gates, right? And they're explaining they're trying to get into heaven. What are they going to say they did?
They made a lot of money. That's what they did.
Okay.
Look, you also pulled a story.
Fascinating.
Safe Harbor Financial expands board of directors with appointment of Tyler Klimas and Sean Toner.
Why'd you pick this one? Yeah.
I picked this one because this is like the same thing where investors literally don't care about anything. They expanded the board of this company. This is a weed bank. I'm not exaggerating.
Weed bank?
It is a cannabis bank. They do banking for the cannabis industry because banking in the cannabis is really hard.
Don't banks do that?
No, because federal regulations don't allow. So this is a bank that's basically like a weed bank. That's all.
Do we need more weed companies?
Look, what do I care?
So many in my neighborhood. I can't I can't.
All I know is that this all-male board expanded the all-male board to add 2 more males.
Well, dude. Women don't smoke weed. You know this.
And they clearly don't bank. But last year, investors said 97% in favor for all the males on all the board.
Damn.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What do we do? Like,
I like that it sounds like a '90s movie too. Tyler and Sean. It's so
Tyler
cute.
and Sean.
Yeah.
And like, you know that like when they came up with the name of the bank, they were probably stoned and they were like, Safe Harbor Financial sounds so corporate, man. Let's do it. I just hate all the index funds, and these voting investors can go suck it. All right, number 2.
All right. I like it.
Tech bros that are pretending tech bros. I'm just going to read the headlines.
Tech bros, yeah.
You know what? We don't need to actually go into exposition here because it's
woke washing, greenwashing. What are they doing?
Meta commits additional funding to oversight board through 2028. Just for reference, Mark Zuckerberg is Meta. Yeah. He gave the oversight board $13 million to continue operating through 2028.
You have to think that it is part of some grander plan to like that they can use it in like defense and like lawsuits, right? Like there must be some legal reason why they do it that benefits suck. Right?
Look, I love a good Broadway show as much as the next person, but this is the best Broadway show you can get, where they hired these very well-meaning reporters and academics and human rights people.
I used to think that. I don't know anymore. They're still taking money from Zuck.
I think these people think they are they can do something, right? Like they're doing something.
Yeah, they should grow up too. They're not doing
Zuck,
anything.
just for reference, Zuck owns a $300 million yacht. He spent $13 million on the oversight board and $300 million on his yacht. So,
not to mention that he owns like enough. He owns so much property in Hawaii. It's like the size of like several central parks, which is a massive park, by the way.
It's big. And look, when the oversight board speaks, this is why I think they feel good about their jobs. When the oversight board speaks, Zuck listens 42% of the time.
Whatever.
The actual number is 42% of the time they make their recommendations.
40,
That's it, are taken on fully and reported. The rest of the time, they alter them, they get rid of them. Meta actually will decline them entirely.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not doing that.
I don't think I like this. This is like you're still complicit in like taking money from Zuck here. I don't think they're well-meaning, these people.
The board is like 27 people deep. I don't think they're making real money on this, right? Like, but
I'd take it.
But here's the bigger problem.
Not from Zuck, though.
The recommendations that Zuck listens to include like this one from September of last year, which wasn't decided until April of this year. So it's inside a year now. It used to be a year turnaround, but someone posted on Instagram that the list of reasons why dating someone in a wheelchair is great. It was like supposed to be an affirming thing. And someone in a comment said it was also good because they can't run away. Okay. And
wait, why can't someone in a wheelchair run away?
do
the wheels not work?
The wheels don't work in their wheelchair, I guess. But
that's
like the whole thing.
They run marathons. People in wheelchairs.
So Meta left the comment up, but the board found in an appeal from the person who posted
You're making my head hurt.
that it should have been taken down in their bullying policy. And Meta actually said, "You know what? We'll take that one down."
Oh, this is the one.
That's the one they took down.
Yeah.
The one they didn't change anything for includes things like AI-driven fake content during wars.
Oh, wow.
Where the board weighed in and was like, you need policies to deal with this, to flag AI images and videos, like propaganda using AI. And Meta was like, we'll take it under advisement,
Can I
guess.
just be real for like a quick second? How was the oversight board not already recommended to shut it all down?
That would be the first recommendation.
Every day they should go to work and just like Albert Manifold, the fired chair at BP, they should make some coffee, right? They should sit down and they should
buy their lunch.
Right, they should buy their lunch and they should decide that they're going to recommend that they shut Meta down.
Find the button at the off button and press it
every day. That's because All right. Well,
on top of that, OpenAI Foundation is committing $250 million to help workers navigate AI disruption.
That's the worst.
Come on.
And who? Like,
They're
what
helping.
Does that mean? Who is that money going to exactly? Which
workers?
Which workers?
Gus.
At AI? At $250 million?
For Gus. Yeah. He got laid off.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And then Mark Andreessen, I saw this headline too. And I didn't know what it quite meant, but it's just more of the pretend. It's more
Mark
the gaslight.
He is
he's the
techno. He's the king techno bro. What did he had a manifesto, right? Like
the techno optimist manifesto. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. He sat down with Joe Rogan, and the headline was Mark Andreessen sputters incomprehensibly at question about how AI will actually benefit humankind.
Well,
Joe Rogan said,
doesn't it help by putting less strain on the brain, so the brain doesn't have to do as much work?
I don't know. Well, all I know is that Joe Rogan was like, there's a lot of pushback on AI. Why don't you sell it? And so Andreessen, this is how he said it.
Yeah.
Quote. I mean, look. So it is all right. I mean, all right. I'm going to give you the deepest of all pitches. I'm going to give you the okay.
That's
how we started.
Okay. What did he eventually say?
He eventually said
It'll
he went down
cure
this.
cancer. No one will have to work again.
No, he went down this rabbit hole where he talked about alchemy and how alchemy didn't work.
Like Minecraft
but it was
alchemy?
sold like as your ability to transmute this thing
I don't wanna
into
hear it
gold.
anymore. I don't wanna hear
And
it
it was this amazing thing.
I'm out.
And then he said, but now we are able to transmute sand into thought.
Yeah,
and then Joe Rogan was
Done.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, it's going to be great. Like, that's the way. That was it.
Yeah, I can transform like applesauce into thought, and like sandwiches,
I'm really good at transforming food into poop.
water. Yeah, all right, keep
But
going.
like, stop pretending, Mark.
Yeah.
It's not for humankind. It's for you. All of this is pretending.
Shut it
Meta
down.
oversight
Yeah,
board.
shut it down.
Foundation giving money to help workers. And
How about we just hit pause
Shut up.
on? Let's hit pause on the AI button,
And then
until we
last,
figure it out. Yeah.
Last one. And this one I just thought was funny, asshole.
So this is part of your tech bros should stop pretending. Okay, go ahead.
No. Yeah, that's number 3. I'm on
Oh,
number 3
this is
now.
your third
New
asshole
one.
of the week.
Third
Got it.
asshole of
Okay,
the week.
Good, go.
The New York Post
A fine newspaper from the Murdoch family. Yeah.
and their baby naming expert.
Wait,
Here's
what?
the headline. All right, just stick with me because this was.
Okay.
I just thought this was so hysterically stupid,
Yeah.
and this is like clickbait, right? I clicked the bait. The headline was New York's most popular baby names trends toward traditional as reaction to woke Mayor Mamdani.
This
expert.
already sounds racist. Yeah, traditional is a dog whistle.
All right, so everything about that headline is like,
Yeah.
what are you even talking about? In fact, everything in that headline is literally incorrect.
Okay.
There's not one fact or correct thing in that headline at all.
Yeah.
The baby naming expert is a woman named Taylor A. Humphrey, who has
Those
a
are two solid like white person names. I like that.
She's
Taylor
very, very
Humphrey.
white. Yeah, she's based in California.
Traditional. Those are traditional names.
She said, quote, Mayor Mamdani is so divergent from tradition, and I do wonder that if that played some part in Gen Z parents moving back towards more traditional heritage.
Wait, already?
That's what she said.
But he's barely been a thing for like a few months.
She used 2025 naming data saying he was campaigning in 2025 and New York State, not city, but state, started naming their babies more traditional names as a reaction to Zohran Mamdani.
Having lived in New York City and New York State, I will tell Taylor Humphrey they have nothing to do with each other. The people in New York State hate everyone in New York City.
Well, the data is also very inconvenient for Taylor A. Humphrey because she looked at, I don't know what she did, but 77 of the top 100 names in New York State are exactly the same from 2023 to 2025.
They don't typically change.
They don't
right?
change them. I did 2 years because I thought I'd see more change.
So it's not like Zoran and Zorana and Zorani.
Well, here are the new traditional names according to Taylor.
Yeah.
Archer.
That's traditional?
August. Bo.
August?
Lincoln.
Oh my God,
Parker. Rowan. Those are the names.
Traditional.
Those are
They're
the
just
names.
dumb.
They
Yeah.
replaced names like Abraham,
Oh, anti-Semitic.
Jonathan. Jonathan dropped out of the top 100.
Yo, Jonathan-
Ryan,
yeah.
Zachary.
Jonathan sounds like a socialist, Kabbalist.
Those are the
Muslim.
boys. The girls were like the new names, the new traditional names included Eden, Kennedy, Sloan, Delilah,
Sloan.
and they replaced names like Anna, Rachel, Sarah dropped out of the top 100.
This is the stupidest thing ever. Good work, Murdoch family.
This is what they put on it. This is how much time I spent on this. This is how stupid I am.
Yeah.
I looked at all the 2023 New York top 100 names and the 2025 New York top
This is
100
New York
names.
State.
New York State. And I ran them through directors. And in fact, the biggest growth in director names that were on the top 100 New York lists was the name Zoe.
Oh, Zoran.
For Zoran.
Yeah. But again,
It was a 200% increase from 2 directors with the name to 7.
But seriously,
so dumb.
what the hell does New York State have to do with the mayor of New York City?
It has nothing to do with anything. Are you kidding me? This is
But it'd be one thing if she used data from the city in the last few months. Maybe I would listen. But
she
what are
had
we
no
doing?
data at all. She just said stuff. She just got in the paper, and the Murdochs, the Post goes out and looks for someone to say that stuff so that they can say in the headline, New York's most popular baby names trend toward traditional as reaction to woke Mayor Mamdani. None of that is true. Not a single thing in there happened. Not one line of that is true. Not one character in that should have been actually typed. But they go out and they search for that story and they put it on the front of the Post, and then everybody talks about it. It is, and it's like we wonder why people don't know. Like, we're expecting people to know like how to vote on an Exxon proxy.
That's true.
This is what they're fucking reading.
The headline should be yet another white lady labels a brown person woke. That should be the headline.
The headline should be white lady says stuff not true.
Yeah,
but
as
we'll print
clickbait.
it anyway.
All right.
Those are your
Do I
three.
get to vote?
Yeah, vote.
I'm not voting for that one.
Oh, wah.
The tech bros. Well, you know what? I started with a bit of a rant up top. We were talking about the Danish pension company that said no to SpaceX. And then I think you did a pretty good case laying out that the index funds are basically like shooting themselves, investors, in the foot constantly.
They're killing us all.
I'm gonna pick that one. I want to pick index.
Good choice.
And I hate the fact. The thing I hate the most is this: the power structures always say the same thing when you try to chip away at their power, which is just that. Well, this is the way it's done. This is the way. Like these are the way the rules are. We can't change it now, right? They always use the same dumb excuse, right? This is the way it's done.
I hate everything. All right, let's go on to.
We're not really making
headlines,
good time.
Winners, predictions. We were making good time. Now we're not.
Where are we?
I'm fast here. I'm fast.
Headliniest. My headline: New website detects apocalypse if billionaire jets start fleeing en masse. I actually think that's brilliant.
It's brilliant, and I hate it.
I hate it, but I think they're probably right. If they all suddenly like took off in one weird direction, it probably is a bad sign.
Well, there was a long piece about Peter Thiel like moving to Argentina in the New York Times this week, and
because of the far right dude down there that he loves.
Yeah, except that like he got his guy elected here, and he's fleeing this country because it sucks so much. Like, do you get it? All right, here's my headline. Kevin O'Leary, Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary.
Shark Tank, yeah.
Kevin O'Leary slams people who want work-life balance.
Jerks.
I hope they work for my competitors.
Oh, that's so clever. All right, who won the week?
Well,
want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
BP bully Albert Manifold's now famous coffee maker.
Oh,
he didn't tell us how he makes his coffee, though. That's the thing.
I really
want to know.
I mean,
do you think it's a pour over? Do you think it's instant? Do you think it's
there is
machine
a 97%
with a
chance
filter?
that he says, "Honey, did you make the coffee yet?" And that's how he gets his coffee made.
I mean, the real winner, unfortunately, is Michael Dell, but I don't want to say that out loud. What's your winner?
No, I have the real winner. The real winner is Illinois State House of Reps, led by Daniel Didick.
Okay, why is that?
Because we covered much to the annoyance of Bill Cunningham. Do you remember Illinois State Senator Bill
Democrat
Cunningham?
of all things, yeah.
Bill Cunningham introduced SB 344 to 344.
Yeah, the most sycophantic AI tech bro kissing ass bill I've seen.
He wanted to exempt AI companies from liability for, quote, mass death. Yeah. That's what he wanted to exempt them from.
I don't think anyone needs to be exempt from liability for mass death.
Instead, on the House of Reps side in the state of Illinois, they passed one of the strongest laws in the country to force third-party audits of AI companies, and it passed 110 to 0.
Beautiful.
110 to 0.
Beautiful.
0 people
defected.
All right, predictions.
Based on the survey which reveals that 99% of CEOs are preparing to lay off workers and replace them with AI within 2 years, it is revealed that the 1% of CEOs who are not preparing to lay off workers and replace them with AI understood AI to mean actual intelligence.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
I struggle with that one. I couldn't find a joke there that worked. So but I tried. What do you got?
Mine's more obscure.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's not the right music.
Come on.
We're doing this music.
Yeah.
OpenAI's upcoming S1 filing, when they file for their IPO, it reveals that not to be outdone by Musk's SpaceX insecurities. Like, if you read the SpaceX filing top to bottom, it is the most insecure piece of, SEC filing I've ever seen. Sam Altman gives himself dual-class shares worth 300 votes per share and 99% voting power. Has a classified board, incorporates in Nevada, has mandatory arbitration clauses, and a minimum lawsuit threshold of 100% of the stock ownership. And the first board member he chooses is Illinois State Senator Bill Cunningham.
Oh, good callback there.
Yeah, you like that? Callback from one thing ago. That's all we got. That's Hazelnut Rawlins, Damien to his friends. I'm your analyst, Matt Mascardi. We are Free Float. Come back later today when we do some more on Proxy Countdown. But you have to go listen to Ann and Mike on shareholder primacy as they broke down the SpaceX IPO. It is way deeper than anything we do, and Ann is so much smarter than we are. So she broke it all down. So go there and get that. Until then, goodbye.